Hello friends, welcome to another video. In this video we are going to do a top-down analysis video on US 30, and we are going to start our analysis with the higher time frame, which is monthly time frame, and then we will come down to lower time frames, weekly, daily, 4-hour, 2-hour, 1 hour and 30 minutes. From the higher time frames we are going to find out the direction of the markets, and on the lower time frames we will look for intraday and the scalping setup. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Let's see what's happening on the monthly time frame. Now on the monthly time frame, as you can see, there was a support, price broke and closed below the support, then there is another support right into this area, right? And as you can see, the last monthly candle closed pretty, there is one more minor support right here, right? We can also consider this one as a minor support, but this is going to be a little bit major support, right? So anyways, the last monthly candle closed at the support, and this monthly candle is still in progress. We never know, we don't know what this monthly candle is going to do, but we know that the price is pretty much bearish because the last monthly candle closed bearish, right? So now let's see what's happening on the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, as we can see, there is going to be a resistance right here. As you can see, this is this resistance pretty much respected here as well, so it's a pretty much respected resistance, and so the support on the monthly is also a support on the weekly as well. So this is going to be a range, prices in the range. As you can see, the last weekly candle closed pretty weak, bearish, and we have a huge rejection to the downside as well. So we don't know what's going to happen, like how the price is going to do, what's going to do in the next week, what we are going to expect, because the situation is, if we had this weekly, the last weekly candle, if we have the last weekly candle close bearish, something like that, then it would have been like closing bearish at the resistance. Then in that situation, in the coming week, we would have expected the price to make a top wick and move to the next support, something like this. But now this is not the case. We know that the price closed pretty much bearish. So now it totally depends upon how the next weekly candle closes. So if we get a next weekly candle, right? If we get a next weekly candle close something like that, in that situation, that will indicate that the price broke and closed above the resistance. In that situation, we can wait for the price to retest the recent broken zone and move to the next resistance, which is something like that. As we can see, the next resistance into that area, right? And if not, and the price gives us something like a strong bearish closure at the resistance, then we can wait for we can expect the price to move to the next support, something like that as well. So that's going to be like how we get a closure on the weekly time frame, right? Now let's see what's happening on the daily time frame. What's happening on the daily time frame? On the daily time frame, there is a resistance, there is a support, there is one more support right here, right? So now, as you can see, the price is in a range, so we want the price to break out of the range. So if we get a closure, if we get a closure above the resistance, we expect the price to move to the next resistance, something like that, right? We can expect the price to move to the next resistance, something like that. If that does not happen and we get a bearish closure below the support, then in that situation we expect the price to make a top wick and move to the next support. So as you can see, there is a support right here as well. So but then that's the initial support or minor support, and we can expect the price to move to the next support, something like that as well, right? So that's going to be something which can be anticipated on the daily time frame, depending upon which side we get the closure. Now let's see what's happening on the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, as we can see, there is a resistance right here, right? And if we check onto the downside, that there is a support right here, right? There is a support right here. So now, if we talk about the next resistance is right there. So next resistance is right there, and next support is right here. So now, as you can see, the price is pretty close to the resistance. So now we want the price to give us a break and close above below the range, right? So what we expect right now if we get a closure above the resistance, we expect the price, or we expect the next candle to retest the recent broken zone and move to the next resistance, something like that. This one is our next resistance, and if we get a further close above the resistance, we can expect the price to make a bottom. We can move to the next resistance, something like that as well. So this is what we are going to expect if we get a bullish closure. If that doesn't happen and we get a bearish closure at the resistance below that support, then we can expect the price to make a top. We can move to the next support, something like this. As you can see, every time price closed below this resistance, we have moved to the support. So this is something we are going to anticipate on the 4-hour time frame, right? Now let's see on the 2-hour time frames, guys. On the 2-hour time frames, so as we can see, there is a resistance right here. So we have these minor resistances as well, but the immediate resistance is right here. Then we have this resistance, and the final resistance is somewhere right there, right? If we talk about the support is pretty much okay. This support is okay, and the next support is also, I think next support can be put here. I think this is going to be the next support, immediate support. So anyways, what we are expecting on the 2-hour time frames, if we get a closure, something like that above the resistance, we can expect the price to make a top. Bottom, we can move to the next resistance, something like that. And if we get a further close above the resistance, we can expect the price to move to the next resistance, something like that as well. So this is something we are going to expect if we get a bullish closure above the resistance. If that doesn't happen, and if we get a bearish closure below the support in that situation, right, we expect the price to make a top. We can move to the next support, and if we get a further close below that below that support, we also have to keep in our mind that we have these noise on the left hand side as well into this area, but the final support is going to be right here. So in that situation, we expect the price to move to the next support, something like this. So this is something we are going to expect on the 2-hour time frame. Now let's see what's happening on the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frames, if we look at closely, that we have the resistance right here, then we have the resistance right here. So there are lots of resistance. I don't know. I think it's much better to wait for the price to get us a closure about that resistance, and after that we can wait for the price. That's going to be the final resistance, right? Next resistance. In this, in like a case of the support is pretty much okay. We can wait for the price to get us a break and close below that area in order to look for the short trade. So let's see what we are expecting. So in terms of the expectations, we wait for we expect the price to give us a break and close above this resistance. If we get that, let the price make the bottom. We can move to the next resistance, something like this. We are going to expect same. If the price decides to go to the downside, if the price gives us a break and close below the support, let the price make the top wick and move to the next support. If we get a further close below this support, we want the next candle to make a top wick and move to the next support, something like this as well. So this is something we are going to expect on the 1-hour time frame. Now let's see what is happening on the 30-minute chart, right? On the 30-minute chart, if we see, we can put our resistance right here, but we have this resistance, we have this resistance, right? So this can be a resistance, I would say, and then we can, in that situation as well, I will say that this can be our next resistance, right? So anyways, and in terms of the support is right here, right? So in terms of the next support, we have another support right here. So what we are expecting right now on the 30-minute chart, if we get a bullish closure above the resistance, let's wait for a bottom wick and to let the price move to the next resistance, something like that. If that doesn't happen and the price gives us a bearish closure below the support, so now we can also look for a short once we get a closure below that area, but that's going to be a little bit risky because the price is like a bullish here. So we can wait for the price to give us a break and close below the next support. In that situation, we can say we waited for the price to break below this support and the next support. In that situation, it's going to be a better confirmations to look for the shorting opportunity, and the same process wait for the top week and let the price move to the next support, something like that. So this is something we are going to expect on the 30-minute chart, right? So that's it, guys. This was the analysis on US 30 from the monthly to the 30-minute time frame. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you really did like the video, share the video and subscribe to the channel in order to support the channel and YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much. See you in another video.